Welcome to a Business Minute with Lily Lopez, presented by the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're here in Washington, D.C., beautiful Capitol building, and with me is Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart. And Mario has been state rep, state senator, congressman for like 25 years?
22 years.
22, that was close.
Yeah, you're very close.
That was close, and I thank him so much for his time, and I know has people waiting for him, and I really value.
On the contrary, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you for what you've been doing for a lifetime.
Yes, it's going to be 30 years. The chamber's going to be 30 years now in March, and we're having a gala. So
amazing.
But I wanted to talk to you because there's a lot of people, everybody has concerns about our country, about what's happening in the border, the American dream. I mean, people can't live off of like $70,000, $80,000 a year. Families can't make it. And people complaining, and everybody's really, really worried. So tell me, what's happening
Well,
here?
look, first, and thanks for sharing this time with me. I greatly appreciate it. And you and I've been dealing with these issues for a long time.
Yes.
I think there's good reason to be concerned. This is the greatest country in the history of humanity. It continues to be. We just got to make sure that it will be there, right, for future generations. And there are reasons to be concerned. You and I, if we would have had this conversation 4 years ago, a word that would have never come up? Inflation.
Inflation.
Yep. And now it's not a word, it is crippling.
It is.
Middle class America,
Completely.
Small businesses.
Completely.
Try to get a loan now. And so it's inflation, it's the cost of living. Gasoline, food. Again, all of that is inflation. But interest rates then. Try to get a loan.
Also.
Try to get a home loan now.
Also.
Right? And these are things that really affect people. You also mentioned the southern border. Look, I'll tell you, Lily, that keeps me awake at night.
Of course it does.
I'm on the Defense Subcommittee of Appropriations. So there we get a lot of classified briefings on a lot of different things. And members of Congress get classified briefings about what's going on in the southern border as well. We are sitting on a ticking time bomb.
They're not vetted. You know who comes in?
It is.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's horrible for everybody. It's horrible because it's a violation of the rule of law.
Number one.
By the way, I don't care if you've been here for multiple generations or you're an aspiring to try to come to the United States. One of the reasons is because this is the country where the rule of law reigns.
Exactly.
It's a violation of the rule of law.
It is.
It's hurtful for those who are trying to get things to come to the United States illegally.
In the legal way, exactly.
If you have a potential a legitimate asylum claim, good luck now, because it's such a disastrous. And you know when it's not talked about also, which is even hard to talk about, how just about the vast majority of women and girls are sexually abused.
I read about that.
So, and then how human trafficking is skyrocketing.
Exactly.
All of this controlled by the cartels, who are the ones who determine.
It's a neglect of the federal government. Right?
I would tell you, it's more than a neglect. It's almost complicit. In a lot of this, and this is a self-inflicted problem.
It is self-inflicted, absolutely.
And it is hard to believe, and so we're sitting on a ticking time bomb, but it is not a violation of the of the rule of law, of our national security, but it is also the most inhumane treatment of those individuals who are victimized over and over again by the cartels.
Exactly.
So there's no winners in here,
None at all.
and the country loses, and so do those victims, by the way.
Yeah, because some of them come thinking it's very simple, and suddenly they're there, laying in the ground, bused to another city, but obviously have to be busted.
And controlled by the cartels.
Exactly.
Controlled by the cartels. The day of somebody, in some Central American countries, situation, I'm going to try to find a better life and get to the United States and walking over. That doesn't happen because it is 100%, the southern border is 100% controlled by the cartels. 100. No, if you try to go without the cartels, they kill you.
You don't hear that in the news. You don't hear that.
To the point where people have armbands. It is a multinational. These are multinational criminal organizations. That if you have the wrong armband, and you're one of these migrants,
right,
and you happen to end up in the wrong territory of a different cartel, they kill you.
This is insane.
It is insane. I know it is 100% controlled by the narco cartels, And so
And
for
the drug
anybody,
that's coming into the drug.
the 100,000 Americans, young Americans dying a year, most of
A
that
year.
from fentanyl,
Right.
most of that coming across the southern border.
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking, sexual trafficking, slavery. Because a lot of some folks are brought over by the cartels, and then they have to pay the cartels while they're here. Some of them are working in odd jobs, and others, most of them working in the sexual industry. Unfortunately, look, it is so horrific.
Mario, this is horrible.
It's just horrific,
It
and
is.
it is. We know what's going on, and it was. This is not
And last month, the 300,000 people, was it? Or was it more?
a record, but it's a record every month. And again,
It's not fair to the people. It's not fair to the
it's
U.S.
not- it's
It's
horrible.
not fair to the
and
taxpayers.
it's not humane.
It's not
It is
humane,
not
exactly.
It is inhuman.
It's exactly.
Absolutely,
yes.
yeah.
So it's a no.
So then we have
bad.
that,
It's bad.
which is a ticking time bomb. We have the economic issues created because inflation was created by government policies, by federal government policies. There's a reason, by the way, while we had inflation through the Jimmy Carter years, we haven't had it for
Remember.
decades, and we have it again.
We have it again.
It's like, why? Why?
Why?
Well, because of the policies of the federal government, and which it's not only that a lot of us warned the president, President Biden, even former Obama economist told President Biden, if you do this,
This is what happens.
inflation is going to skyrocket.
Family of four, you go to a restaurant, it's like $150, $180.
I know.
A
It's
simple
crazy.
restaurant.
It's
This
crazy.
is horrible. It's
It is
making
absolutely
it
crazy.
impossible for families to make a living.
But at least we can say, well, but foreign policy has been great. Really? The world is in flames.
China,
The world,
horrible.
the world's in flames.
It is.
I just
Taiwan, yeah.
I just got back from Taiwan.
Oh, tell me.
I-
They're probably
I-
scared. I mean,
They
the
they have
Chinese right
they have
there.
reason to be concerned.
Of course, concerned.
And
I'd be scared.
so yeah,
be
no.
scared,
Look,
yeah.
I'm a firm believer that the world is safest, and the United States is safest when the United States leads.
It's strong, and
and
it leads
strong.
when we're strong.
Yeah, and so
powerful.
it's tough to lead when you have such economic challenges here. It's tough to lead when you can't even control your own border.
Your
It's tough to
border.
lead when folks don't trust what you do is what you say. I cannot tell you how many times when I'm meeting, because part of what I do, as you know, is I chair the subcommittee in the House that determines the funding for everything having to do with foreign policy. So I'm constantly meeting with either heads of state, foreign ministers, ambassadors. And I can't tell you how many times, what comes up, which we kind of have forgotten about in the United States, but the rest of the world has not. The fiasco of Afghanistan and how we left Afghanistan.
And left all the
Yep.
equipment there. I know.
But just
It's
the lack
over $1
of
billion.
credibility. Right
Credibility.
now, our allies are like, "Can we count on you?
We can't count on you.
Can we count
Exactly.
on you?" And so I
So
hear
it's-
about that.
so
So
you
you don't
hear
hear
that
about it.
too?
You don't see it in the news all the time anymore.
No,
it's out of the
nothing.
news.
Yeah, that's out of the news.
But I will tell
you
you,
hear from our
it's
friends.
not out of the psyche of our allies.
Of our allies, of our friends.
and of our adversaries.
Of course,
either. Yeah.
also.
So challenging times, but this is
Challenging
still the
times.
greatest country in the history
Yes,
of the
it
world.
is. And we have Israel, and we have
Yeah.
Hamas, and we have. It's
Yeah.
just. It's really not
Yeah.
a good time
Yeah.
in the world to be in. But luckily, we have people like
Well,
you and
we're gonna-
other members of Congress that are here trying to
And thanks for
to
coming
make.
by.
Yeah, I mean,
In
just
a very cold day in
in
Washington,
a cold
D.C.
day, I'm here and just with my friend of so many years. And this is businessman, and always with you. I don't even need to say anything because you do the talking and
Well,
so well.
well,
so
I-
it's
I
not.
appreciate-
It's so easy to interview you.
I've told you, but I will tell you again because you don't get enough of it, of the work that you've been doing for all these years.
Thank you, Mario.
And always with an attitude of looking for solutions and doing it in a way, in a country that sometimes seems so divided, you've always had this ability to unify everybody.
Exactly.
And that
To
I
bring
greatly
people,
appreciate.
To bring people
so
together.
thanks for what you
That's
do.
so important, especially in Miami-Dade County, because sometimes people think that Miami-Dade County is all Hispanic and Hispanic controlled.
Yeah.
But it isn't. You need to work with the
It's so
different.
diverse.
Diverse. People
Yeah.
from all over Latin America, African Americans, Haitians.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's a
It's
melting
also
pot. Miami's really.
it's a great example for the country. and for the
Yes,
world.
it is, and we
right?
get along, don't we?
We do.
Everybody gets along
Yeah.
in Miami. I think it's
Yeah.
great. Mario.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for,
much.
No, thanks.